me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, a weekly series where I, Dalton,
and Cody
cover some of the news from the past week that we either find interesting or have an opinion on. Let's get started. And first topic of the week. Microsoft has released some clarification about the Xbox One and some of its features. The Kinect sensor can be turned on and off at any time during play, so you don't have to worry too much about it potentially spying on you. There is DRM, but it's not always on. Instead, the Xbox has to be connected to the internet once every 24 hours for it to be functional. This means if your internet goes out for 24 hours, the console essentially turns into a Blu-ray player until you can reconnect it to the internet. Or if you're logged into an Xbox that you don't own, it's the same deal except that has to be at least once every hour. They also say that a game's publisher/developer will be in almost total control of whether a game can be traded in or resold. If you want to give a game to a friend or sell it, you can transfer it to them if they've been on your friend list for over 30 days, and each game can only be transferred once, meaning they can't resell it or even give it back to you. And publishers can even control whether they want you to have the first transaction, so you may not even be able to transfer it the first time.
Okay, the first thing I gotta say is, Microsoft, really? I mean, I'm happy that you can actually turn the Kinect sensor off anytime you want, and I'm also happy that there's DRM, and also that it's not always on. But really, it has to be connected 24 hours, once 24 hours. What if you don't have internet, but you want to play games? What if your internet goes out, but you want to play games? It's stupid that they're doing this, in my opinion, of course. But and the fact that you have to have a friend you have to have someone on your friend list for over 30 days for you to be able to transfer a game is just plain out stupid. I don't like what Microsoft is doing with their console so far at all.
Yeah, it's quite a bit ridiculous. So if you wanted to take your game into GameStop, you might not even be able to sell it. Say EA goes on one of their fits and decides that you can't resell one of their games to a GameStop. You have to keep it. Once it's yours, and you can't even give it to friends. You can't bring it back to GameStop, and that completely annihilates the used game market. And a lot of big publishers pretty much will say, no, you can't transfer all these games. We've already got your money. Why would we allow you to do that? Since used games really can hurt an industry quite a bit, or the video game industry specifically. Also, something I didn't really touch on is that since you can't, you're not supposed to sell games. It kind of has to be to a third-party retailer such as GameStop and things like that, and they have to be licensed. So there's going to be less. There's going to be less competition to big stores like GameStop, and so you'll get even less money for your game. So now you can bring in a new game that came out like 3 days ago and get like $10 at GameStop, which is horrible, and I already dislike GameStop. But since they have less competition now from some of the local game stores, since a lot of them won't be able to get credited and to be able to be a third-party retailer that can take your games, they can give you $5 instead of $10 now, and that they can do that unchecked completely, which is just ridiculous in my opinion, and I'm sure in many of your opinions. But
well, I was going to say one more thing. Also, another thing, like Dalton mentioned, if a buddy wants to borrow one of your games and you transfer it to their account, they can't give it back to you. Microsoft, you're being stupid here.
I think we come off as a bunch of Xbox One haters and PS4 fanboys, but whatever. I really don't care about the console war. I just really think that a lot of Microsoft's choices are reprehensible. I'm more of a PC guy. It's just that I see Sony at the moment as having the better potential for a good console next generation.
I feel the same way.
But that's all we have to say on this topic, and damn have we spent a long time on it. On to the next one. With Serious Sam 4 being worked on, the publishers of the Serious Sam franchise, Developer Digital, have teamed up with the Humble Bundle to offer up all of the Serious Sam games for a modest fee. For at least $1, you can get every game in the series other than 2 and 3, which includes 6 games, and if you beat the average price, currently around $4.30, you also receive Serious Sam 2 and 3.
Serious Sam, the series that's not so serious. unless you want to call big guns and huge creepers and huge creatures. My apologies.
Too much Minecraft.
Too much Minecraft. Running to kill you and destroy humanity serious. Then yeah, it's called Serious Sam. But that sentence sounded very Men in Blackish. Like Dalton said, if you're willing to pay the average of $4.29 or $4.30, you can get Serious Sam 2 and 3. But if you don't, that's fine too. You can still get the 6 games that's in the franchise for at least $1. But keep this in mind: the average and Humble Bundle sales have been known to go up. But hurry up though, only 5 days left. I'm not really a big fan of Serious Sam, so I more than likely won't even be looking into this.
Yeah, we just thought we'd cover it. It sounds like a damn advertisement from how we're covering it, but we just thought we'd point this out. If you guys have any interest in Serious Sam, I've had a little bit of fun with Serious Sam 3. I'd recommend this. This is a good deal, so pick it up while you can. But that's all we have to say on this, so next topic. A new Halo game has been announced for Xbox One. Or wait, no, sorry about that. A new Halo game has been announced for Windows 8? In the game titled Halo Spartan Assault, you will play as Sarah Palmer from Halo 4, playing through her backstory. As you play the game, you will unlock store credits which you can use to purchase vehicles and weapons, or alternatively, there will be microtransactions if you don't feel like playing the game.
I've never really been a fan of this multi-billion-dollar franchise. I tried it once, didn't really like it. I know it's not much to base an opinion on, especially towards an entire franchise. But hey, my opinion. Assault is the first top-down Halo game that's intended for use on touch-enabled devices. Not many of those games get positive feedback, but since it's Halo, it may get more chances than others. But if you ask me, I see nothing but negative reviews in this game's future. Especially since it's going to be Windows 8. But hey, my opinion.
I think it's definitely interesting that they're deciding to put a Halo game on the Windows platform, especially since they haven't really shown any interest in putting games on the PC. But I guess it's to get people to buy Windows 8 and see some good things in it, since a lot of people are hating on it and have been hating on it since release. But if I had Windows 8, I'd probably pick it up. But Windows 7 here, and I probably won't be converting to Windows 8 because of the issues that a lot of people have been complaining about, as I was saying. But that's all I have to say on this.
Next topic.
Kiefer Sutherland, and sorry if I just destroyed that name, who played as Jack Bauer in 24, will replace David Hayter as Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Kojima wanted someone who he thought could accurately depict the vocal patterns and facial movements of someone at Naked Snake's age, which will be 49 in the game. With all this news, I'm just wondering where Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes went.
Well, Ground Zeroes is probably sitting on the couch waiting for an actual release date. I'm doing the same. As someone who just recently got into the Metal Gear series, I'm really disappointed with this because I've been, playing as Snake obviously in MGS4 with David Hayter, and I'm a fan of David. A big
David
Hayter
Hayter is. I'm sorry to jump in, but he's a god. But just go on.
He is. He what was it? He written Watchmen. That was it, right?
Yeah, he wrote the movie for Watchmen, which is just it's awesome in itself. But his voice is majestic.
It is very majestic, and I'm a huge fan of comics and Watchmen itself, which makes me happy because David Hayter is, he wrote it, and David Hayter is the voice of Snake in MGS4 and all the other ones, and I really like him and the voice, but it makes me sad that he's, being replaced here, and apparently, according to his Twitter, he's not too happy about it either.
Really? I hadn't looked at his Twitter. A few months ago, I thought he said that he was done just as Snake. Like, I thought it was a voluntary thing.
No, he said he wasn't asked to be in the game.
Really? Yeah. I thought, from the way I read from the reports before, I thought he was just done with it, but damn, that sucks. That really sucks. And especially since, David Hayter played old Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4, but now he can't play Naked Snake, who is younger? In a sense, anyway. Of course, old Snake, you have to play the games to know what I'm talking about. But, that's kind of weird that they decided to replace him now. Maybe Kojima just got pissed off at him? Who knows what happened there. But I think that's all we have to say about this topic.
On to the next one.
Frag Tag Radio, an Xbox-oriented gaming podcast, has tweeted a, quote, leaked image that supposedly depicts Microsoft's E3 lineup, which suggests that at E3, Microsoft will be unveiling Fable 4, a new BanjoKazooie, and Halo 5. But before you get too excited, please note this is a rumor, and it may or may not be true, so there's that.
Yes, rumor. Keep that in mind, rumor. But, you know, E3 soon, so we'll be able to get more info on this. I haven't been a big fan of any of these series, actually. Like I've noted earlier in the video, not a big fan of Halo. Never been a big fan of Fable or BanjoKazooie. Though I've been meaning to look into Kazooie because it actually looks like a pretty good game. And I will be looking into this and hoping that it is true.
I've never played any of the Fables since I've always, I never had an Xbox until the 360, and I saw the reviews for Fable 3 and just kind of said, well, I don't think I'm going to pick that up. But I've heard Fable 1's amazing, and 2 is okay, and I've been planning to try to play them if I can manage it. Also on the BanjoKazooies, I know a lot of people are very excited for this, but you have to remember, Rare is not nearly as good as it used to be. So even if it is a new BanjoKazooie, this could be the thing that destroys your childhood rather than gives you the nostalgia from it. Also, Halo 5, if they do announce it, that's awesome. I know a lot of people really love Halo 4, and so that'll be good for them. No real nothing bad to say about that. I know Halo games are fun. I haven't owned any in quite some time, but I know a lot of people will be excited for that. And hopefully this stuff is true. I mean, I'd be happy for everyone who wants to see these games. But who knows? It is a rumor, and it was just I've never even heard of these guys until this story happened, and the image is, in my opinion, a bit sketchy, just because of how it's laid out. But I'll put that on the screen somewhere, and so you guys can deliberate also, and there'll be the link in the description. So, but that's all I have to say on that, and that's the last topic of the week.
Alrighty then. What kind of games have you been playing this week, Dalton?
Alright, it's rant time. Last week, the footage for the video was Battlefield 3. I played quite a bit of Battlefield 3 this week, 2-3 hours at least, and I really decided that I disliked it, actually, after really loving it for such a long time. I've realized how grossly unbalanced it is. Like, certain maps, I'll go on there, and as attackers, I'll feel like there's no way I'm gonna win, or vice versa. Like, there's no way to win as defenders, and this isn't like certain servers that do this either. It is just maps, and I've noticed this. This is on Rush, by the way. Conquest, I've never really liked, but it at least feels the teams are a little bit more balanced since everyone can cap the same points and things. But just Rush, a lot of the maps are so insanely unbalanced that I can't. It's really frustrated me, and I love Battlefield. I played Bad Company 2 and loved it, and I love Battlefield 3, but it's just been getting on my nerves very much recently. Also, I've been playing some Blobs 2, actually, and that's, I guess it's fun. It's fun to play with friends on that game, but that's about all I've been playing this week.
Jesus, that was a rant. Anyway, the games I've been playing this week have been mainly Skyrim. I've been really kicking it in gear with Skyrim. I'm really happy with this playthrough. Not getting bored in my other ones though, so that's great. I've been playing a bit of Killing Floor. Great game. I love it. Also, I tried Cry of Fear today, which is actually a mod of Half-Life 1. It's not necessarily a mod.
Not Source, just Half-Life 1.
Just Half-Life 1, if I'm not badly mistaken. And it's actually a full game now, it's a horror game. So that's always nice, if you're not scared of horror games, which I kind of am. But I tried it out. It's pretty good so far. I've only played about 40 minutes of it, and I will be playing more of it. Not in a very, very lit up room. I've also been playing Pokemon Heart Gold. I only played a little bit of that today, actually. I've also been playing Blobs 2. Considering that I don't have a mic anymore for my PS3, I can't really play with friends. I mean, I can, but it's just not very fun, and Blobs 2 isn't very fun without friends. So, I've been trying to stay away from that, actually. And I've also been playing a bit of Uncharted 3 multiplayer, and I've realized that I really, really suck at it. Anyway, that's all.
about the horror game thing, I can't even stand to be in the same room as someone who's playing Amnesia. It just bothers me. I can watch any horror movie that you throw at me, but when it comes to games, I can't handle it. I don't know what it is. But I think that's actually all we have this week. We'll see you guys. Sorry.
Before we sign off, I want to note that next week, E3, so there will be a big video from us coming about that.
Oh yes, absolutely. The E3 video is going to be a big deal, and I hope you guys are pumped for that, because we certainly are. And if you enjoyed the video, please like it and comment about the stories, your opinions on them, and stories you'd like us to cover this next week, if you have any that you'd like us to cover. And I think that's it for this week.
Bye.